Well, it seems everybody's hooked on Twitter these days, from celebrities to politicians to breakfast TV show hosts, everybody, even as we're learning major companies.
But while Twitter messages are limited to just 140 characters at a time, when things go haywire, the potential for brand damage is enormous. This report from Twitter's very own Neil Woolrich.
Twitter is the latest social media frontier, but for many, including some of our biggest companies, it can all too often lead to grief.
Qantas has experienced the pitfalls of social media after a Twitter competition went horribly wrong.
In November, Qantas was embroiled in a so-called Twitter fail, a social media campaign that backfired. Just days after the airline's grounding ended, it asked customers to tweet their idea of Qantas luxury. Instead of accentuating the positives, customers tweeted a torrent of abuse like,
"Qantas luxury is a nice pair of shoes so I can walk across the terminal to another company."
Qantas Luxury is chartering a Greyhound bus and arriving at your destination before your Qantas flight.
And there was even a Hitler downfall parody.
I think what tends to happen when it goes badly wrong, particularly on Twitter, is brands don't necessarily actually think through what the consequences of what they're doing might be.
And Qantas isn't alone, joining the likes of Coles, Woolworths and Coca-Cola, who've launched social media campaigns that turn sour.
When you boil it down, Twitter really is about people sharing cool things online. If your brand has something that's worthy of sharing, then there's no reason why it can't be a fantastic medium to put out your campaign on.
With any form of social media, including Twitter, including Facebook, there are elements you can't manage. So it's always just about controlling the risk. That's all you can do.
Media and marketing commentator Tim Burrows says big firms need to make sure they have experienced public relations operatives running their social media strategies.
The issue is when a brand just assumes that, hey, because social media is something that younger people are interested in, we'll just give this to the intern and let them handle it. And that usually is when things go wrong.
I think that a lot of the social media fails that we're talking about these days, we're far too eager to actually jump onto that, the catchphrase of a massive fail.
Digital marketing consultant Matt Burgess argues the most common problems are companies not knowing their audiences and not having defined goals before launching a campaign.
Today there's far too much of an idea that we need to have a social media campaign because we want to make something go viral. Those are fine goals to have, but if they aren't tying back to your business goals, then ultimately your social media campaign is going to have a very hard time of finding success.
But for those who are staying out of social media, they'll probably be keeping a close eye on it anyway.
If brands are going to stay away from social media, they really should only do so after making sure they understand it, so they do understand the opportunities they're missing as well as the risks they're avoiding.
However, one thing major brands will never be able to control is the audience, which in the case of Twitter is proving to be much more cynical and outspoken than the marketing gurus might like.
I'm not sure whether you saw that little plug for Neil Woolrich's own Twitter account there. We saw it. And that was obviously Neil Woolrich reporting.
At NM Woolrich,
Yeah.
for those who want to send him a message this morning.